Also, what I wanted to go ahead and speak to you guys about is activity. Okay, activity is a direct correlation to success in this business. Dials, talk time. The bottom line is this: I can show you metrics across the board. Activity translate to sales. Sales translate to money in your pocket. Okay, there's no worry about it. You got to work in this business. Okay, activity, activity, activity. The more phone time that you have, the more you're going to get a sale. Bottom line. All right. Also, when you're talking to people, whether it's state senior benefits or if it's a telemarketing lead callback or an SEO, all right, SEO is a little different because the consumer knows what they want pretty much. But when you're looking at, call to action, learn more, or telemarketing callbacks, or again, the short form Facebook leads, you really have to pinpoint on the pain point. Now, remember, guys, when you go ahead and you are engaging in a client for the first time, you have to portray to them that you're the best in the business. You're an expert. Okay? The way you do that is you have to have absolute certainty in your tonality in the beginning. Okay? You have to go ahead and be enthusiastic as hell. Now, I'm not talking about screaming to the top of the hills, but you have to have bottled enthusiasm. As I'm speaking to you right now with this, I have bottled enthusiasm. I believe what I'm saying. Okay? That's how you have to be when you first get on the phone with somebody. Then you gain control. Then you passionately care. Translate to relating with them. And then it's just a conversation. All right, but I cannot stress it enough. The pain point is the emotional connection that you guys have to solidify in a phone call. Okay, it's so important. All right, when you're speaking to a prospect, they have two thresholds. They have an action threshold and they have a pain threshold. Okay, the action threshold is their trust meter. Okay, my action threshold is very low. Anybody can sell me something. I'm going to buy it. Then you got other people out there that have a very high threshold, an action threshold, which they don't trust anybody. Those are the people that, if you don't handle the beginning of the call right, are going to say, well, I don't give out my social security number. Oh, I don't give my that's all smoke screen, guys. They all have car insurance. They all have a car loan. They all have a cell phone, which they get insurance on. They buy a cell phone. They gave their social security number and their payment information. So it's utter bullshit, guys. Okay? So the action threshold is somebody that's doesn't trust many people. Okay? Maybe they got screwed in the past. Okay? But the way you overcome somebody with a high action threshold is if you increase their pain threshold. That's why in the beginning of the state senior benefit script and also the pinnacle quote telemarketing script, all right, you have to focus on the pain point. Even with the digital telemarketing callback script, you got to focus on the pain point. They have to have that emotional connection. And through the conversation of asking good questions and following up with better questions or smaller questions, okay, it's not about selling them a policy. It's not about them buying a policy. It's about protecting their pain point. Okay? Once you confirm their pain point, you have to drag the pain point in the conversation every time you got it. What I mean by that? Not a problem, Mrs. Jones. This is exactly what we're going to do to take care of pain point. Not a problem, Mrs. Jones. Okay? This action by you is going to take care of the pain point to alleviate any financial burden and financial pain for pain point. There's so many different ways you can write it up to. I don't need to write it in the script. You guys have to use your personality and have a conversation. You guys all know what you're saying. You guys been around thousands of days. Okay? Thousands. Millions of seconds. Tens of millions of seconds. All right? You have conversations all the time, so you guys know how to do it. But you have to hit that pain point. Okay? In a sale, there's a logical part of a sale, and then there's their emotional part of the sale. A logical part of the sale is the best rate and the value. You can logically state your case, and they won't buy. Why is that? Because you didn't do the emotional connection. If a client logically understands that it makes sense, best price, unless they want to pay more price or they don't want something with value. The logical part is easy. It's just the script that state your case, but that's not enough. You have to make an emotional connection. Once you make an emotional connection and a logical connection, the client will buy. All right, if you fail to go ahead and pinpoint the pain point and have that emotional connection, doesn't matter how logical it makes sense. That's the challenge with agents. Every script you write is going to make logical sense. Why don't everybody sell every phone call? Because they lack emotional connection. That's what I'm talking about. I've listened to many audios in the last couple of weeks of I hear agents just rushing through the script like this script is going to do their work for them. No script's going to do the work for you. You have to psychologically and it's got to psychologically make sense what you're trying to do and accomplish. Again, telesales is not words. 90% is enthusiasm and tonality or tonal patterns. The other 10% is just the words on the script or the presentation. You guys have to decipher the difference of that. If you do that, your sales are going to go through the roof. It's just an improbable fact that you'll get sales. It's impossible not to if you understand and you make one less mistake a day. Now, again, I've listened to audio for certain agents, okay, some of you guys for weeks now, and you guys are still making the same mistakes. Success is easy. The ingredients to success is making one less mistake a day, constantly evolving and getting better, understanding what you're trying to accomplish, okay? But here's the deal, man. If you continually start doing the same mistakes, you're not learning anything. Okay, most important thing in the conversation. Enthusiastic as hell, sharp. You got to be sharp, guys. Remember, you're speaking to seniors that's talked to 1,000 more people than you have in your life. You have to be sharp. They've been around the block more times than you guys sat on the corner. They're smart people, guys. They have an abundance of wisdom. They know how to read people. They've got a lot more experience than you do. Okay? So, if you don't present yourself as the best, follow them through that and being very sharp, meaning you know what you're saying. Not those fake little laugh. Be a genuine laugh. Okay? Again, don't become their friends. Be their advisor. Okay? So I wanted to touch base and touch on that point. The more you do the beginning of the script right, the less objections you're going to get at the end. Okay? I cannot stress it enough, guys. If you can't grasp that, you're just going to be the average in the middle agent or the low end of the agent totem pole. Okay? The difference between a multi-million-dollar producer and an agent that's struggling is the multi-million-dollar producer does everything that struggling agent does and a little bit more. Okay, same thing, the 200 hitter and the 300 hitter. All right, one guy, a 300 hitter in baseball, makes tens of millions of dollars a year. A 200 hitter is sucking exhaust fumes in the bus from AAA ball, if they're lucky. Who do you think's in the batting cage more? The difference between a 200 hitter and a 300 hitter is one hit every 10 at-bats. Who's in the back? Okay, with that said, I want to go ahead and talk about this real fast.